Yeah, in case you didn't notice, I have a habit of making utterly ridiculous voices sometimes. I do it mostly because I hope someone finds it funny, though. I hope. Anyway, there's two things here. Hack that terminal and you get access to them. Break into the footlocker, however, and you'll find something somewhat important. Nope. Damn it. It's only an average lock. How did I fail? No. No. There we go. Zach's self-destruct sequence. If you don't have a high speed skill or a high science score, you are going to want. You may or may not want this if you want to blow Eden and this entire facility to hell. Yet more computer hacking. Bleh. I have very little patience. I mean, I could probably do it properly if I had the time, but this is a let's play. You probably don't want to watch me sit around taking fucking ages to try and get the codes to work like I'm doing now. But at least I'm actually clicking on something. I mean, if I was doing it normally, you'd probably just have to watch me, like, do nothing for a while. Come on, fucking work! This is ridiculous! How am I being this unlucky? Statistically, I should have just randomly gotten it by now. Finally! Religious. Of course. I dislike the idea of religion personally, so it's come back to spite me. No, I'm not being serious. So, yeah, no offense to anyone. Like I said, I'm not being serious. And, yeah, this is mostly what you're going to want. There's a whole load of medical supplies in this one. The others are, well, they're a nice little bonus to your ammo supplies. Actually, I could just use the hotkey for God's sake. Anyway, that's that done. And again, make sure you actually go into Colonel Autumn's room because it has a bobblehead, of course. Let's get a move on. And now, oddly enough, none of them are actually hostile towards you, but you do get to watch the security bots completely rip the shit out of these guys. They didn't stand a chance. I will just let me pick up these stuff and their stuff first. And yeah, I'm gonna need to manage my inventory a bit. Because I have an absolute crap load of laser rifles and everything else right now. I'll just repair that with a crappy laser rifle. And you know what? I should probably give Star Panel and Cross some of the extra stuff I've picked up, like a fully repaired plasma rifle. So she and the Brotherhood will probably friggin' love me for that. Well, maybe not. Probably not. What the hell? I got more plasma. You usually get more plasma rifles than this. I guess I'm being a bit unlucky with the weapon. Oh. Ugh. God, my throat hurts. Anyway, as I was saying, you usually get a bit luckier with the plasma rifle drops, but it's never a certain thing. And so we come into a big-ass computer room. With that low pulsing humming that is often used in fiction and in the media, and in various media works to hint at computer activity. I'm not sure why they choose a low pulsing. I mean, noises of fans would be just as appropriate. I have never, ever heard a computer act anything like that, and if it was, I'd probably be afraid that it was fucking radioactive or something. But anyway, here is President Eden. And no, it's not a screen conveying President Eden's voice. It's actually President Eden.
Ah, face to face at last. It's high time we met. I'm quite pleased you were able to make it. The trip was not what I had intended, but serves as an adequate test of your abilities.
You call that a test of my abilities? Hey, I made it this far without dying. I need to prove myself more? Friggin' idiot. If we're meeting face to face, then show yourself. Don't hide behind a monitor.
Ah, but I have. I'm right here before you.
You're a computer. I should have guessed as much.
How very open-minded of you. Kudos for embracing the reality of the situation, rather than railing against it. Let's get to brass tacks, shall we? There are some things I'd like to talk to you about.
Well, what's the point of railing against reality? I mean, believe it all you want, it's not going to make it true. What can I do for you?
You and I have a chance to make our country a better place for all of us. I'd like you to make sure that chance isn't wasted. Understand, I am placing a great deal of trust in you. Your simple presence here proves that.
Okay, let me get this straight. President Eden is placing trust in someone he has never met and who has a history of killing his dudes and going against everything he has stood for. Ever! President Eden, master tactician. Alright, can you explain what you mean?
My abilities to influence the world are limited at this time. I alone can only do so much. You, however, may come and go as you please. You have a greater degree of freedom. Perhaps it's best if I explain why things need to change, and why I'd like you to act on my behalf.
Okay, so he never considers the fact that I might use that freedom to go against him. Oh well, let's bullshit this guy. Please go on, I'm intrigued.
The good people of this country cannot regain control while mutation runs rampant through our land. My soldiers cannot stem the tide, nor can the cult you've come into contact with, this Brotherhood of Steel. Mutations like the super mutants and ghouls must be purged from our society, our world, before we can proceed anew. Where others have failed, I believe your father's work can succeed.
Yes, unfortunately, this killing of mutations... You see, human beings have lived out in radioactive lands for about, well, over several hundred years. They are all mutated to some degree. This is going to kill all of them. My father's work? How's that relevant?
The purifier your father helped create has the ability to provide clean water to the whole of this capital wasteland. With a simple modification, it can be used to distribute agents that destroy mutated creatures upon ingestion. In time, we could eliminate all mutations in the wasteland. At the same time, the good people of the world regain their health. I need you to make the modification necessary for this to succeed.
And by good people of the world, you naturally mean only the Enclave and the people who the original American government stuck involved as some kind of twisted experiment. How exactly would I go about doing this?
In front of you will be a vial of modified FEV virus. It can be inserted into the control console for the purifier. Doing so will inject it into the water supply, and the purifier will take care of the rest. You just need the code to activate the purifier.
And modified or not, he seems to be ignoring that anything involving the FEV virus has inevitably gone wrong. And invariably. Alright, I'll give it some thought.
I understand. It's an unusual request. One I wouldn't make if it weren't of the utmost importance. Please understand that I cannot allow you to leave until you've taken the vial.
Yeah, he's not kidding either. You actually can't proceed until you take the vial anyway. You can't be president. You're an aberration of science. You need to die.
Really? Do go on.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a very closed-minded approach. I probably shouldn't take that one. Okay. You were never elected president. You don't have the right to govern.
Is our nation really in a state to be holding public elections? I think not. Once we have re-established ourselves and brought civilization to the land around us, then we can return to the old world policies.
As long as it is convenient for you, naturally. But how do you know what you're doing is right?
Because unlike humans, I am infallible.
Infallible, yeah, right. And how do you know you're infallible?
Because I've been programmed to be, of course.
That's circular logic. You know because you know. It makes no sense.
Processing. Internal logic error detected.
Ownage. I think you're delusional. I think the world would be better off without you.
Resetting primary memory circuits. Please stand by. Perhaps there is a problem. I am unsure. sure how to proceed.
Yeah, this is actually kind of sad. I mean, with a few lines of dialogue, President Eden goes from his usual, God, my throat, his usual charming and somewhat, what's the word, charismatic self into a sniveling wreck. And then when you choose this option, shut yourself down. Shut down this whole place.
Processing directive. New directive accepted. Self-destruct sequence initialized. Civilian is advised to remove hazardous FEV material and exit at once.